Hey guys, what's up, what's happening? I am still the King of Games 98. How you doing? Hope you all are doing good and staying safe. And today's video, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be a very different type of video for me personally, because I'm not going to be unboxing this game, but instead I am going to be talking about what this game means to me and how Persona 3, being the very first Persona game I ever played, impacted my life and really changed how I saw RPGs, and is why Persona 3 is my favorite Persona game of all time. So basically, I'm just going to kind of be talking the majority of this video and showing this game and my two other Persona 3 games, and yeah, that's going to be about it. Like I said, different type of video for today, but I still thought it would be good content on the channel regardless. So without further ado, this is why I love Persona 3. Okay, so first off, I am recording this on my phone with holding it in my hands because my cell phone tripod from Walmart broke. So if I had it in the tripod, it would not stay perfectly still in a downward position. So I apologize if I move too much, but just so you know, that is why. So, Persona 3. I was first shown this game back when I was in high school. I would probably say it was somewhere around 2013 or maybe 2014. So I'll say either my freshman or sophomore year of high school. A friend at the time, we are no longer friends and don't really speak for that matter either. And you know what, that's okay. I'm really fine by that considering how he acted towards my other friend. I know I've mentioned this person before, but I've never really said him or called him out by name, and I don't really plan on it because I don't want him to see and start a bunch of trouble. So a person, or a guy, I will say, who I was friends with at the time, showed me this game. He had it digitally downloaded onto his PlayStation 3 Super Slim console. And a couple of times when we would hang out as a group over his house, he would select the game on his digitally downloaded on his PS3, boot it up, and he would play it, whether it be for himself or show it to us. But either way, that was my first time ever seeing and hearing about a Persona game. So from there, I saw the opening, well, technically there's two openings, the one with Mass Destruction playing, and then the other one with that song that I don't remember the name of it. Anyway, so I remember seeing the opening, I remember seeing gameplay, how the battle system works, anime-esque cutscenes, really good voice acting, and I really liked what I saw. So, me being the video game collector in me, I hopped on the eBay and bought Persona 3. Well, wait a minute. Yeah, I bought Persona I bought this copy of Persona 3 FES and Persona 4, both on PlayStation 2, And I want to say at that time, because, game collecting wasn't really big, or it wasn't very, what would I say? It wasn't very prominent, there we go, as it is today in 2024. So when I hopped on the eBay and, looked up this game, I found this copy. It is complete in box. And it was very reasonably priced. I want to say I only paid $15 or maybe $20. That's with shipping included for this game back then. And the same goes for my copy of Persona 4 on PS2, which I still own today. And it was the version that came with the CD soundtrack with the game. And I still have that copy too to this day. And yeah, I want to say I paid roughly $15 to $20 a piece for these games back then. And I thought that was pretty good. But it was just funny because, the seller who I bought it off of, probably didn't think anyone wanted a vintage PlayStation 2 game back in 2013 or 2014, or so. And yeah, I bought it and that copy of Persona 4. And before I bought it, I talked to that guy who I was friends with and asked him, which version of Persona 3 do I buy? Because there was Persona 3, Persona 3 FES, and Persona 3 Portable at that time. So I asked him that because I really didn't know. And he said to me, you want Persona 3 FES. That is the best version of Persona 3 you can buy currently. So I said, okay, great. I'm going to buy myself a copy because I just loved what I saw. And yeah, the rest is history, really, as they say. So when I got this in the mail, along with my copy of Persona 4, I tested them. They both played, of course. And as I said, I still have this copy and that copy of Persona 4 to this day. I immediately started playing this as soon as I got it in the mail. And I freaking loved this game. There was something about this game. Now, granted, it probably helped me liking this game that the main protagonist, Minato, or you can name him whatever you want, but his actual name is Minato. Wait, is it Minato? Yeah, it is Minato, because Persona 4's protagonist is Yu Narukami. Yeah. Minato is about I'm going to say 16, 17-year-old. He's in high school. And at the time of when I started playing this, I was in high school. Say maybe, I'll say either a sophomore or maybe a junior. You see, I don't know if I was that old yet. Okay, I'll say I was either a freshman or sophomore in high school. And so, I don't know. That probably had a big influence on me playing this game at that particular time in my life. But it's like I just connected and bonded with this game so well that I fell in love with it. And I was like, damn, that was $15 to $20 well spent, And I didn't play Persona 4 right away at that point either. But eventually I played Persona 4 Golden on my PlayStation Vita, and I fell in love with that game too. However, Persona 3 FES is my true first Persona game that I was introduced to and that I played myself and that I truly fell in love with. Now, fast forward, I don't know how many years later into my game collecting into my game collecting days. I'll phrase it like that. I don't know how many years ago exactly this was, but at some point in time, I found the regular standard edition of Persona 3 on PlayStation 2, and it was complete in box. However, this copy, I'll say, of Persona 3 on PlayStation 2 was not the limited edition or collector's edition, whichever it's called. It was just a standard, regular old copy of regular Persona 3 that was in its original case with instruction manual. Gotta be honest with you guys, I do not remember how much I paid for it. However, I did buy it, and it made me very happy to find that, because even though I was told I had the definitive version of Persona 3 in Persona 3 FES or Festival, whichever you want to call it, I still wanted the base original game because of how near and dear this game is to my heart. And so I bought it. And for years, I owned that original regular base version of Persona 3, along with this copy of Persona 3 FES, and then my copy of Persona 4, this and Persona 4 that I bought off of eBay all those years ago back in high school. So I felt really happy and really good about myself, because I was like, man, I got the 3 mainline Persona games that released on PlayStation 2 in my collection, all complete in box. And I was like, I feel pretty damn good about myself. Little did I know, ladies and gentlemen, that I don't know how many years later, but years later in my game collecting journey, I learned about and discovered a limited collector's edition version of the regular version of Persona 3. And then I went, you gotta be kidding me. How did I not know about that? Well, as luck would have it, I want to say 2 years ago at Next Level Video Games, it showed up. And as soon as I saw Nick, the owner, post about it on Facebook, I literally went the next day and got it. Yep, there it is. Shin Megami Tensei Persona 3. I forget, which is this considered? Is this considered the limited edition or collector's edition? I don't know, because whenever I look that version of that game up on eBay or online in general, I've seen people call it limited edition and collector's edition. So I don't really know which it's called. But you know what? I got it. That's all that matters. So I was so freaking ecstatic and so happy that I got that in my collection that I made a video on it. And I will link that video at the end of this video in case you missed it. I basically just tell the story of how I came to acquire that, and that was one of my Persona game grails that I hoped to own one day, basically. And now I can say I do. So, now you're probably saying to yourself, okay, so you have the limited edition version of the regular base game of Persona 3. You have FES, and now you have Reload on PlayStation 4. So what happened to the original copy of Persona 3 on PlayStation 2 that you bought and kept in your collection all these years up until getting that? That's a great question. I'm so glad you asked. So 2 years ago during the summer, when I bought that from Next Level Video Games, which, oh my God, I'm not even going to go into that story, ladies and gentlemen, because I will link that video at the end of this video, which goes into how I came to buy it. But oh my god, I got a smoking good deal on that because I traded stuff in, and oh my god, I just couldn't have asked for a better way. You know how it went of me acquiring that. I just couldn't have asked for a better way. But anyway, so after buying that game from Next Level Video Games, I was like, okay, well, now technically I own 2 copies of the original base game of Persona 3. Well, I don't need 2 copies of it, even though I love Persona 3 to death. I do not need to own 2 copies of it, and I rather own the limited edition, collector's edition version of it than the regular base game. So I had the genius idea of just to list it for sale and sell it and get however much money I could for it. And so that's what I did. I listed it on Facebook Marketplace, and I'm pretty sure I got $50 for that game, which I thought was really freaking good. Even for like 2 years ago, I thought that was really good. And it was complete in box and it played perfectly. And I met someone locally, like 10 minutes away from my house at a Wawa. He bought it and was super happy, super excited to actually start playing it. And he actually told me that himself. And then that made me feel really happy too. So, yeah. Now, I'm sure you guys are looking at the different Persona 3 games that I own currently in my collection, and you're probably thinking and or saying to yourself and or to me through this video, "The King, where is Persona 3 Portable?" And that's a great question. I'm so glad you asked. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is the one Persona 3 game that has eluded me over the years, and I do not own a physical original copy of that game yet. Now, I say yet because I do want to buy and own it one day. I just don't know when that's going to happen. So as for right now, as of the making of this video, I do not own a physical original copy of Persona 3 Portable on PSP. However, I did buy it digitally and have it digitally downloaded onto my PlayStation Vita Slim. So I have it digitally on my PlayStation Vita Slim model, but I do not own it physically. Now, I haven't actually played it yet. However, I've been told that that version of Persona 3 is very, how would I say this? It is very scaled back, and it's very bare bones. And what I mean by that when I say that is that they kind of took a lot of the dungeons and dungeon exploration out of that version. And supposedly they took a lot of the city exploration out of it too. And because of that, it's a lot shorter game than, like, say, the original version or even 3 FES. So yeah, I guess you could say it's more of a scaled back version of Persona 3, but portably since it was on the PSP. Now, we're going to talk about the elephant in the room real quick. Persona 3 Reload. Now, I just told you guys the whole backstory of why it's my favorite Persona game, how I came to acquire these two, and why I don't own Persona 3 Portable. Now, there are some issues with Persona 3 Reload, even though, as you can tell, I didn't even open my game yet. And this, which I guess was a pre-order bonus, I don't even know what this is. If you guys know what this is, please let me know, because I don't. And I don't know if I want to open it, because I don't know what it is. So, Persona 3 Reload looks gorgeous from the ground up. I really seriously mean that. The music sounds great. The anime cutscenes look great. It really is a gorgeous remake of an already great game. But they did not include the content that was in the FES version called The Answer, which I've come to understand is the epilogue story that takes place after the main game. They did not include that in Reload. which I was very bummed about to hear that. But at the same time, I've been hearing murmurs and rumors that there is going to be DLC, and they could add that in via DLC to the game. I hope they do that. I really, really seriously hope they do that, because that would be amazing. Because then this would be the best definitive version of Persona 3 you could play in 2024. Other than that, I really don't think I have any criticisms about this game, other than it does not come with the answer epilogue story that was put in. So the answer epilogue story was not in the original Persona 3, but they added it when they released Persona 3 FES. That's why Persona 3 FES was the best version of Persona 3 you could buy for a long time. Alright guys, well, that's basically all I wanted to do for this video, and I've basically said what I wanted to say. So, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give me a like, and if you aren't subscribed, please feel free to subscribe if you like this content. And please, please, please let me know down below in the comments section if you have played Persona 3, and if you haven't played Persona 3 yet, are you going to pick up Persona 3 Reload? And if you have played Persona 3 and the different versions of it, let me know down below also what your favorite version of Persona 3 is. Thanks for watching, guys, and take care.